When I excitedly told my neighbor that we were planning to homeschool, she responded, "Oh, you can't do that. Kids need to go to school for socialization." Welcome to Homeschool Broadcast, your go-to show to boost your confidence and motivation. I'm Jenny Provance, an Emmy award-winning broadcaster turned homeschool mom. I'm also a doctoral student in education, and I love sharing what I'm learning from my research with you. Here, I'll share stories, ideas, practical tips, and inspiration to keep you going strong. This is one of those questions we all get asked, right? Or maybe we've been the one asking the question. But what about socialization? We didn't pull our kids out of school to avoid socialization. We're homeschooling because we value healthy, high-quality socialization. Social skills are actually near the top of our priority list as a homeschooling family. So let's break it down. What the research really says. There's a myth out there that homeschoolers are socially behind or awkward, but the data does not back that up. According to a review in the Journal of School Choice, when the literature was synthesized, homeschooled children scored as well or better than homeschool peers in social skills based on teacher and parent evaluations, peer interactions, and self-assessments. A post published by the National Home Education Research Institute, NHERI, compared homeschool children to public school students using the Social Skills Rating System, SSRS, which assesses cooperation, assertiveness, empathy, and self-control. They found that homeschooled children consistently scored higher across these subscales. Notably, homeschooled girls outperformed their public school counterparts in empathy and assertiveness, while homeschooled boys showed higher cooperation scores, especially in 6th grade. Interesting. We need more studies, but so far no one can prove that homeschooling has negative impacts on socialization. Now listen, I have worked with and interacted with hundreds of public school teenagers, for example, and I just have to say it. Conventional school is not the gold standard of socialization. If anything, I've witnessed how it can actually be detrimental to social development. Here's what I see over and over again. And of course, there are exceptions to this, but this is kind of the general. Teens who can't hold a conversation with an adult is what I keep finding. Their eyes are glued on their phones, and when I ask them questions, they give one-word answers. They don't ask follow-up questions, and there's really no engagement in actual real dialogue. I mean, in schools, they're often told to be quiet, stop talking, eyes forward, stay in your seat. Is that socialization? Now, we know that social awkwardness has causes, but I don't think homeschooling is one of them, just in my opinion and my experience and my research. So let's talk more about awkwardness because someone always brings it up. Here's my response, and I'm trying to be loving and honest. I'd say that 99% of the awkward or quirky people I've met in my life went to public school. So no, you can't tell me that homeschool causes awkwardness. And I'd like to, if it's okay with you, make my case for why you don't need to go to a traditional school for socialization. So here we go. First of all, I think in most cases, awkwardness or lack of social awareness can come down to 3 things. First, parenting. I don't want to sound harsh, but in general, odd parents tend to produce odd kids. There are exceptions, but in general, I feel like this is true. Number 2. Screens, such as phones, iPads, and video games. And number 3, awkwardness or lack of social awareness can also come from special needs or neurodiversity. Homeschooling doesn't necessarily create weirdness. And even if a homeschooler is different, you know what? That might be the very reason their parents chose homeschooling in the first place, to give their special needs child or neurodiverse child the space and support they need. There are many special needs and neurodivergent kids who do better schooling at home. So maybe that's why some people have the stereotype that homeschoolers are weird, because some of them do have special needs. We know that's not weird. We love them. We love the special needs kids in our homeschooling community. We need them. We have a neurodivergent child in our house who thrives with a customized and one-on-one nature that homeschooling provides. Now, all of these unique kids are amazing, and we don't want all the kids to be the same. We want our kids to be different in a good way. Additionally, kids go through awkward phases sometimes, and personally, we just don't want our kids to learn social skills from their awkward peers at school. We realize that our kids might miss out on what's going on in social media trends or pop culture, and we prefer it that way. Heck no, do I want my kid exposed to some of the strange socialization going on in schools that's coming from social media. It was bad enough back in the 90s and the early 2000s when I was in school, and it's way more bizarre and confusing now. And we just want something different. In our family, we want kids who can confidently talk to anyone, not just people their exact age. We want kids who can communicate face to face and not just through devices or computers. We want kids who ask questions and listen, which of the listening part, we're still working on that. We're trying to have kids who aren't as self-conscious and aren't trying to keep up with the trends. Kids who can thrive in group conversations and one-on-one conversations. We're trying to raise kids who aren't addicted to screens and kids who aren't exposed to some of the vile stuff that is going on in the world too early. We will expose them to everything they need to be exposed to, and we will teach them and prepare them to be on their own in the real world, but we will do it in our own time, in our own way, and from a faith-based worldview. We want our kids to learn life skills and to not get involved with popularity contests or hierarchies or cliques. Historically, kids grew up in multi-age communities, big families, neighborhoods, churches, and were mostly homeschooled. When one-room schoolhouses were introduced, they had kids of all different ages learning side by side. That's more of a natural socialization, not categorizing everyone into grades with kids their exact age. And the thing is, once you're out of school, you're never again going to work or live in a world with only people your own same age. I'll probably get haters for this, but if you think about it, school is an artificial environment. It's nothing like the real world. So yes, our kids are around lots of people, and we're very intentional about making sure they're practicing social and communication skills constantly, playing with friends, involved in extracurriculars. We're just always around people. And that's why I say all the time, you can't outsource social skills and socialization to schools. And you especially can't outsource their socialization to other kids. I believe that it is our job as parents to socialize our kids. Educator John Holtz observed that the majority of children are born enthusiastic, confident learners, but give them just a few years in school, and that can turn into self-consciousness, anxiety, and fear. So here's what we're doing about it. We're not leaving social development to chance. We've created a home and a homeschool that values eye contact, conversations, hospitality, empathy, and communication. These things don't just happen automatically all the time. They're taught day in, day out. Several friends and family have asked if we are concerned about socialization because we homeschool. In reality, socialization is one of the main reasons we do choose to homeschool. We have seen the socialization that is going on in schools and the awkward kids who come out of public school, and to be honest, we just want no part of it. We've all met socially awkward people before in our lives, including myself. I can be the awkward one at times, and the majority of them attended public school. We all have our quirks. I still have to work on my own social skills, and I was public schooled. So I don't think it's school that's the main influence on social skills and socialization. I believe the main influence is the parents and the family. If public school was the answer, it was the solution for socialization, then why are there quote-unquote normal kids graduating alongside kids who are quite odd? School is not the common denominator. In public school, kids are getting less and less recess and time to socialize. They're spending more time on screens, and their topics of conversation are more and more focused on what they did or saw on their computers or phones. I know some amazing and well-adjusted kids coming out of public school, and I personally think it's because they have really great parents. Of course, there are exceptions, there are anomalies, but what I'm saying is that parents can't outsource everything to the schools. In our family, we want our children to get more time to play and socialize with people of all ages and demographics. I guarantee you that our kids socialize more than most kids. We love to go out and about and interact with all kinds of people. Another thought, I taught as an adjunct professor at 2 universities, so I've spent time with hundreds of young adults. And I've also worked with teens at church. And what I found is that many of them do lack basic social skills. Many of them cannot carry on a conversation with someone who's not their exact same age. Many of them are addicted to their phones and they can't go more than a few minutes without checking them. If this is what socialization looks like, we are interested in taking a different route. A memory came to my mind. There was this family at our church several years ago, and they were so antisocial. They sent their kids to public school, but then they came straight home, and the parents wouldn't let them participate in any church activities or extracurriculars. At church, their family sat in the very back. They didn't talk to anyone. I mean, good for them for going to church, of course. But the kids were always on their phones. And from my experience, those kids could not have a conversation. They couldn't look you in the eye. I don't know what was happening in that family, but I felt so bad for the kids. They didn't have friends at church, and they were so awkward. All of their socializing, I assume, was done at school. So no one can convince me that school is the answer. School is not for socialization. Your kids won't not turn strange if they go to public school. There are weird and there are well-adjusted public schoolers. There are weird and well-adjusted homeschoolers. You can't convince me that public school is the answer, and I will die on this hill. I don't mean to sound judgmental. Our family is very far from perfect. In some ways, our kids are highly proficient socially. At the moment, not to brag, but they're quite good at public speaking and carrying on conversations, intelligent conversations with pretty much anyone of any age with excellent vocabularies. However, in other ways, they struggle. We're working on social awareness, we're working on reading the room, and we're definitely still working on managing our emotions. I will never again judge people when their kids have public meltdowns or overly emotional kids who sometimes lose their tempers, just to put it lightly. We're working on these things. We're working on using tools in their toolbox to manage their emotions. Just trust me, my husband and I have gained many gray hairs regarding some of the challenges our kids struggle with. But with God's help and persistence, I'm confident it's going to turn out all right. I actually used to worry a lot about my kids turning out weird, so much so that I took it to prayer. Thankfully, God has reassured me that my kids are going to turn out okay. Stop worrying, Jenny. I'm just so grateful for the extra time we get back with our kids by homeschooling so that we can practice and improve. Social skills are so important. They will be a huge part of your kid for the rest of their life. They'll impact your child's future, their friends, their career, their experiences with church and dating and marriage, and their future parenting. Clearly, we care deeply about socialization, and we're homeschooling for that exact reason. Okay. You're like, take a chill pill, Jenny, simmer down. I just get really passionate about this topic. So obviously, yes, very important, so important that I created the Homeschool Social Skills Checklist. It's a printable list of 50 plus social and communication skills for homeschoolers to work on in their families. It's great to keep on your fridge or in your morning basket, use it for morning meeting or family home evenings, and it's totally free. It's my gift to you. You can get your Homeschool Social Skills Checklist at homeschoolchecklist.com. Did you like or learn something in today's episode? Did you have any epiphanies or new ideas? I would love to hear your top takeaways. Come send me a DM on my relatively new Instagram at Homeschool Broadcast. In the next episode, we'll be talking about, should we homeschool? How to decide if it's right for your family. I'm Jenny Provance, signing off.